Hello, everybody, and today I'm going to be talking about Transformers 1. I don't know when this came out, but definitely came out 2024. And I'm not the biggest Transformers fan, but I gotta say, this movie's definitely a breath of fresh air because the Transformer movies are not really well liked. But honestly, this is the Transformers movie they honestly should have done a long time ago because there is a lot of potential when it comes to Transformers. Like they did that animated movie all the way back in the 80s, then we got a bunch of animated shows, and now we got a sort of origin story for Optimus Prime and Megatron. So I'm sorry if I don't know these characters' names since I'm not too versed in the Transformers lore, but I know there are people who are much bigger Transformers fans. But I gotta say, this movie is definitely much better than the Michael Bay movies since I could not really get into those movies because it's just a lot of action. It could be considered fun action, but they focus on the human characters too much. But for this movie, it's just focused on the robots. And we got Optimus Prime, not voiced by Peter Cullen, this time voiced by the awesome Chris Hemsworth for himself, voicing Optimus Prime. And he's actually really good as Optimus. He sounds like a younger Optimus Prime, and at the very end, he definitely sounds like Optimus Prime, for sure. And we got a bunch of other celebrities voicing the robots. Basically, we got Brian Tree Henry as Megatron, Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow as Edith. We also got, I'm pretty sure Steve Blusem as Starscream. I don't know who voices Bumblebee. But it's basically the story is about how Optimus and Megatron did not become friends anymore. They basically are like brothers to each other. And I was not really expecting that, since basically we do have this trope of stories where we got one character who has the good side views, and then we got the other who does not, who has very different views of how they want to control them. Basically, it's kind of like Charles Xavier versus Magneto, because back then they were friends, and then they basically fight one another over their rights for mutants, and that's basically for Transformers. Optimus versus Megatron, and I do like the brother dynamic as they go on a quest to find out the truth about the original Transformers, who is voiced by the awesome Lawrence Fishburne. I knew his voice sounded familiar, but as this goes on, they go through like a various races that happen in this movie, and they get sent down to a sort of dungeon-like area with other Transformers, and that's where we do meet Bumblebee, who can talk, as you do know in the lore of Transformers. Bumblebee doesn't talk because he lost his voice. But it's cool to hear Bumblebee. And what I do like about this is like it shows how the Transformers basically got their ability to transform into cars or jets or whatever. And basically we do learn about the origins of the various characters. And we even see the characters go through various upgrades. But the main villain in this movie, I think his name is Cybertron. I'm sorry if I got the name wrong. And he basically just wants to take over the main area for the Transformers. And he's like viewed as like one of the good guys. But we see his true intentions as various battles go on throughout this whole movie. He even manages to kidnap Bumblebee. But it's up for Optimus to team up with Megatron and Tryla, and she's voiced by Scarlett Johansson, like I said, and she's actually really good. I easily recognize Scarlett Johansson, and she's a great voice actor. She's very underrated. She did voice Mindy in the SpongeBob movie, but Scarlett Johansson should definitely do more voice work for sure, as we get various celebrities voicing various characters throughout this movie. But once these characters do get their upgrades, they basically are able to adjust to their new transforming abilities, and it leads to an all-out war between the Transformers, and it's just a lot of fun action. And we get in the animation, I give it this. This animation looks spectacular. Like, it kind of looks like it's its own style, maybe a mix of like various animations we've seen in like other movies, and the characters do swear in this movie, but I'm surprised animated movies are now getting away with characters swearing, which is ironic. I don't know if that's a weird thing to point out, but yeah. But the big thing that happens in this movie is Megatron starts to not really like Optimus, as they have different views of how they want to take out Cybertron, and I think he ends up killing Cybertron. And the big scene that basically makes the two butt heads a lot is where Optimus gets battle damage during the final battle, and he literally drops him. He could save Optimus, but he doesn't save him, and he says they're basically not brothers anymore. And Optimus falls to his death, but he is reprogrammed into the Optimus we know, and he just finally got his voice that sounds like Peter Cullen, and he basically saves the Transformers and frees them as Megatron gets away, and he becomes the leader of the Decepticons in the post-credit scenes. But yeah, that's Transformers 1. So sorry if I skipped some things. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Transformers fan, but I would definitely like to check out more Transformers content for sure. But this is like an early start if you really do like Transformers. So I hope they do continue with the Transformers movies, with these kind of movies, since this movie's just full on animated. It shows them not at Earth at all. And yeah, the voice work is really good, and they should definitely do more Transformers animated movies for sure. I don't know about live action. They probably would still do it, but for diehard Transformers fans, definitely check it out for sure. I don't know what the next review is going to be. It should be fun. So that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.